switch over. We are live with tonight's episode 8 of the Boxing Fanatico live podcast, talking all things boxing. But today, we're going to talk about something special. Why? Because I see this guy everywhere. Because I'm seeing this guy everywhere, and it's crazy. It's getting me a little annoyed, too. What's going on, brothers? All right, we got Hashim47 here. Let's go, champ. We got Hugh the Dev. How's it going? Fanatico. What's up, Hugh the Dev? Love to see you guys in here. We got Rogue-ish. Let's do this. All right, so, okay. The mole, right? We're going to talk all about the mole. First of all, we don't even know if he's the mole. That's just like we've been using circumstantial evidence to discern that this gentleman is the mole because we don't actually know. He might not be, and he's claiming that he isn't the mole. Yeah, I seen Haney sparring the mole now too. I know. We got YouTube Boxing 6007 already coming in hot with the super chat, $2.79. Canadian money, I think, by YouTube Boxing 6007. Thank you so much for that, brother. But we're going to have, going to be a fire stream. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're going to be talking all about this gentleman, this Mo. But are there receipts? That's the thing. There's not really receipts when it comes to this. If he really, it looks like he hurt Ryan to the ribs, but there isn't really like proof that he snitched and he was giving information back to Tank. Now, if we go here, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the moles where everything was coming from. Let's take a look at where everything was coming from. We'll move over here. And by the way, I got you guys still on here, so if you guys ask me a question, it'll pop up. I figured out how to connect that to this as well. But let's talk about the mole here. His name is Edernabat Tsendbatar, and he is a pro boxer with 6 wins, 0 losses, 3 knockouts. He's a Mongolian boxer, 2-time Olympian, AIBA bronze, 3-time AIBA Asian champion, WBA, WBC Asia, NABF junior champion, and I guess he fights under the Zone banner with the Zone. Now, this is the picture that's floating. This is the picture that's currently floating right now. And I think it's floating because people are like, whoa, he's the mole and all that stuff. And you know, what's going on with him? But I think he's just a sparring partner for a lot of people. Like, I think he's literally a sparring partner for a lot of people. Before the whole thing went crazy which this was the Ryan Garcia video right here. But before things went crazy with this Ryan Garcia video, there's a picture with him and Ryan Garcia. Now, does Ryan Garcia look like his rib is hurt in this picture? I ain't gonna lie. He kind of do. He kind of does look like his ribs is hurt in this picture. How do you guys see? How do you guys see this? Huh? How do you guys see this? I've heard a little about this supposed mole too. I think Ryan's just making subtle excuses. Yeah, he's a little. It looks like he's hurt a little bit. Look at the eyes. Yeah, I mean, it looked like. I don't know, man. It looks like about a little bit. Looked like he hurt him a little bit here because this was posted March 11th. This was posted March 11th. Maybe too far back. But still, he was in there getting work with Ryan Garcia. And I think this is the area where he was getting work with Ryan Garcia. I think that's the same area as this area here. But, and we also have this picture here too. Ryan Garcia looks like he's good, like he's chilling. And I think he was a good sparring partner for Ryan because he kind of has a very similar height to Gervonta Tank Davis. He was a bantamweight in the Olympics. And one thing that, let me see here. Oh, is this him going to see Ryan Garcia. I think that's him going to see Ryan Garcia. One thing that I am sure about is that he was a bantamweight in the Olympics. He actually fought in the Rio Olympics and was eliminated by Shakur Stevenson. But what other people don't know is he's also lost to the likes of Keyshawn Davis. And how do I know that? Because we got his box rec right here. 6-0. This I don't understand. Suspended by the New York State Athletic Commission until 2023 May 4th. And that's today. That's literally today. But then again, he fought on the 27th. I mean, I don't understand. Maybe I don't get why he was suspended for just a few days. He may have done something minor or whatever that, whatever. But when we look at this is his amateur record: 63 wins, 17 losses. This is pretty impressive. 3 KOs. Remember, amateurs is only 3 rounds. So, but if we go down here, look at his losses. I mean, he's lost to some guys here, but we're gonna find where is it? Keyshawn Davis right here. Lost to Keyshawn Davis back in 2018. And of course, Shakur Stevenson, he lost at the Rio de Janeiro Olympic Games, bantamweight quarterfinals. Shakur Stevenson beat him. So I think those are the two notable losses that he had in his amateur career. And his pro career, he's rated a 2-star in his pro career so far. He's rated a 2-star by BoxRec. So he's number 1 out of 4 in terms of the Mongolian fighters in the division, in the lightweight division, or in the light division, and he's 115 out of 2,247. So he's not making this crazy splash. I mean, right here, he fought a guy that he TKO'd, and it literally says unknown right here. So we don't even know who he fought. He fought a mystery man back in 2019 in China. So that just speaks to how hidden this person is. But since the incident, and I think there's been a lot of miscommunication, because this is what Ryan Garcia posted. Actually said I had a mole right after he posted this video. So I think there was a miscommunication. I think there's a cultural kind of like miscommunication happening. I think that he personally literally wanted to say sorry, but he I think he thought he was being a genuine and nice, but it really made it more kind of expose Ryan a little bit more, that he did get hurt to the ribs and all these things. So I think Ryan took offense to that a little bit and then posted this here. Because right after he posted this is what gives me pause that this guy's a mole, is that he said, hey, King Ryan, my bro, my last post, I used Google Translate. The translation was incorrect and confusing. My apologies. Who is Mole? What are you talking about? I'm not Mole. So I guess he doesn't even really understand the concept of the word mole. He looks to be innocent, in my opinion. I think he's just a sparring partner that may have actually hurt Ryan, but I don't think he was feeding information back. I do think that someone knew something, because they fed the information to Tank that he got hurt to the body. So somebody did say something, but I don't know for sure if it was this guy here, unless he was tricked by someone else that does work with Tank, but he didn't know that guy worked with Tank, and then that guy had him expose that information to him, and he brought it back to Tank, and then Tank used that for psychological warfare, because Tank is a psychological warfare beast. You know what I mean? He's a beast when it comes to psychological warfare. But that is my thoughts. He's just a guy that's small, but has international amateur experience. So he goes around, he goes all over the world sparring with people. He's especially used when someone is similar to his height, his style. I think Devin Haney is sparring with him, and now people are like, "Oh my God, Devin Haney, be careful." But I don't think it. I don't think it means anything crazy. I think this gentleman is actually innocent. There's just like a translation issue, but I do think he hurt Ryan to the body. That I do believe is true. Don't people get hurt in training on the regular? Yeah, 100%. 100%. Hey, gaming granny, how you doing? But yes, people get hurt all the time. People fight their pro fights hurt. So people are always hurt when it comes to boxing, because you're always like tweaking something, hurting something, cracking something, damaging, bruising something. So you're always hurt in boxing. Even when you go into an actual fight, a lot of people go into the fights with injuries, but injuries that they could maintain and they could work through. Normally, you don't even hear about the injuries until they lose the fight, and then they say, "Oh, you know what? My shoulder didn't work, or my rib didn't work, or my back didn't work, or spinal." You know what I mean? But I'm just joking. But other than that, normally people go in with injuries into fights regardless. Interesting. So this guy is good, but he's still a level or two below guys like Shakur and Davis. He actually is good because he made it to the quarterfinals in the Olympics, which is not bad. Granted, there isn't much competition in terms of his country, representing his country, or like Mongolia specifically. There isn't that much competition coming out of there, so it's kind of easy to represent for that country. But he still made it to the quarterfinals. He just came up against Shakur Stevenson in the Olympics, and that was it. But he is definitely a 100% good, like, popular sparring partner, because he sparred with Ryan Garcia. He's sparring with Devin Haney. I'm sure he spars with other top level fighters because he's had a pretty decent international amateur experience. So he's probably a good person to use, especially if you want to get good at like beating somebody like a Tank, because he's so little. It'll kind of get you calibrated to punching somebody that's so small. AP whatever, he said, the mole. YouTube boxing, even while they're barely KO'd people in the amateurs, stoppages in the amateurs mean nothing. Yeah. I mean, getting the KOs in the amateurs, that's whatever. Like, it's gonna be real hard to do that, period, because you only got 3 rounds, and it isn't about who's knocking who down. Every single punch is almost the same, has almost the same value as a jab, has almost the same value as a right hook, right? So you might as well just jab your way sometimes, or whatever. Like, it's not so much of a big deal. You're more like just trying to touch the person as opposed to trying to knock the person out. Although people do get knockouts, you're just trying to touch them. That man, a 2-star more. How old is he? I think he's young. I don't know if it shows his age anywhere here, but I do think he is young. Let me see if they have his age here. Yeah, he's not that young. 26. It's gonna be tough. His career run is gonna be tough. He might just be a sparring partner. Like, that might be his thing, that he's like just this prolific sparring partner because he's young, energetic, not really a superstar, but it's enough to get some good work in. I think that's where his height is going to be, because at 26 he's still not making a splash. Maybe this gives him a name and people start watching him a little bit more. He's 50% of his fights are knockouts. Who knows? You never know. But he is 26 years old. Let me go back to the comments here. Let's see. The guy barely speaks English. He's innocent, in my opinion. Exactly. I think in his mind, what he was doing was he actually thought that he was being sincere and being polite and doing an apology, a public apology, because he felt so bad about what had happened. So I think in his mind, he's like, you know what? I feel like I'm one of the reasons why Ryan lost. So let me tell him a public apology to the world and let him know that I'm sorry for it. And I think Ryan took that as him gloating that he hit him to the body. And then Ryan like immediately started posting, oh, there was a rat in our camp. That's crazy, but I'm glad we sorted it out or whatever. And yeah, that's a tough thing. But this might make him a little bit more popular. Who knows, man? That might make his name is really hard for me to say. Let me see if I pull it up. That might make Erden Nabat to send Batar a little bit famous. I mean, I think even like for American, right, for the crossover, even his name makes it a little bit difficult for promotional people to want to like push. Some stuff is like these little incidental things, right? How nice is your smile, right? And then maybe a promoter will want to push you because of your smile. Or how cool is your name? And a promoter might want to push you because you have a cool name. Or are you a generational fighter? Like, are you, a Mayweather's son or Mayweather's nephew? Or like that's a thing that makes somebody go, ooh, this is pretty cool. Let me, promote you. Or are you the son of a famous fighter? And I think that just simply off of like his name and stuff like that, that might give pause to some promoters to be like, oh, let me go ahead and start pushing him. But because this whole incident happened, he might actually, you never know, man. He might actually get some traction off of this. Gervonta has intel, people looking for weakness. Hey, look, that was a really good psychological tactic. What Gervonta Tank Davis did to tell Ryan that, oh, I have a mole in your camp, he probably used one true information. The only information that he had was that he got hurt to the body. And then Tank was like, he used that to make him think that every little thing he was doing, Tank knew what he was going to do. So he might have actually had somewhat of a game plan. And because Tank was so much in his head, he may have thrown the game plan out the window to kind of flank Tank and make him think, oh, you were preparing for this, but now you're going to get this, even though Tank didn't even know the other thing. So it made him actually fight off his game plan. I'm not saying that happened, right? Because we weren't in their heads to know exactly what happened. But that's something that is very, very, very possible. That's incredibly possible. So if that worked in that way, then Tank is one of the best psychological warfare, fighters in the game right now. He's probably one of the best, like, get in your head before the fight kind of fighter, that one of the best that we've seen, because that was genius if it worked to the degree that, like, if it all came together that way, that was a genius thing. Also, in the amateurs, you're trying to get to the rounds in and get some experience, so going for knockouts isn't always the best idea. Yep. And of course, smash that like button if you're in here. Guys, please hit the like button. If you're in here, hit the like button. And hit the subscribe button, and definitely make sure if you don't hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, you hit it on your way out after the show. Let's see here. Miniman, probably the "Are you okay?" made it more worse. Made it more worse. Yeah. Because you know how some people take it like, yo, you good, man? Like, damn, I really beat you up, right? Like, are you all right? Like, I'm so sorry I beat you up. You lost because of me. You lost because I beat you up. But I think that it's really like just a cultural kind of miscommunication, a cultural translation, miscommunication, language barrier between the two of them. And I think he just truly was sorry. I truly believe he was sorry. But the crazy thing is, he's all over Twitter, and people are calling him the mole. Like, that's his thing. And now it's gonna be like when he fights, is he gonna adopt that moniker, like the mole? But I don't know, man. It's kind of funny to me. Or do you have a interesting personality? Or do you have, if you have an interesting personality, that's also something that pushes promoters to kind of talk about you or whatever. So I think it's it's tough to break in the boxing world. I was watching the Devin Haney kind of interview that he had with Bradley Martin, where it kind of went viral because Bradley Martin said that he would beat up Devin Haney because he weighs 260 pounds, and Devin Haney was like, "There's no way I would beat you up because you've never got punched by somebody as hard as I would punch you, or whatever, or you've never been punched by somebody who's a professional boxer." In that interview, though, Devin Haney talked about how that like sparring partners aren't necessarily people that aren't good. They're just people that haven't made it yet. Like they haven't gotten the popularity behind them or whatever. Because there's only a finite amount of people that could get popularity off of becoming pro. Anybody could become pro in boxing. Anybody could go pro in boxing. It's not hard. The path for entry is not as hard as it is to become an NBA player or become a baseball player. It's much easier to become a boxer and get a boxing license than it is to make it to the MLB, right? So when Devin Haney said that, it's like it could be this guy right here, right? You don't know who he is, but doesn't necessarily mean that he's not a good fighter. He doesn't know what he's doing. He got good international experience. Masashi level of mind games. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, Tank is super smart when it comes to these mind games. He's super smart. Ryan versus Rolly should be next. If Rolly wins his next fight, Rolly versus Ryan at 140 will be fun. I actually truly believe that this would make so much sense. This fight would make sense in so many different levels. For one, Rolly did better than Ryan did against Tank. But not only that, he did better than most people did against Tank. Like, Rolly did pretty good. Like, shockingly good. No one thought that it was going to even be close. Everybody thought this was a joke of a fight. And granted, Rolly got knocked out. But before the knockout, it was all Rolly Romero. And he seemed calm in there. He did not seem nervous. It wasn't like, it wasn't the vibe that I was getting from Ryan Garcia, who felt a little bit more nervous in there. Rolly felt like confident in there. He was just doing his thing and then got caught. So they both lost to Tank. So that's already there. But Rolly did better than Ryan. But also, there's the footage of the sparring sessions with Rolly versus Ryan, where Rolly is really hitting Ryan hard with these real devastating power shots. And you can hear like the aggression in there. And Ryan is like getting tagged up. So it looked like Rolly was beating Ryan up. So he could kind of clean that up, that whole sparring session thing up. He could clean that up and at the same time be like, oh, I beat the guy that did better than I did against Tank, which could then start moving him towards getting back to his path of redemption in terms of coming back with wins. Because once he beats Rolly, it'll open the minds of people like, oh, okay, so he beat the guy who did better than he did against Tank. Maybe he was lacking confidence. Maybe there was something wrong that day. Maybe the rib injury was an issue. Maybe the rehydration clause did bother him. It starts to plant seeds of doubt, right? And then he also leaves his trainer, goes to a new trainer. So it's like, oh, maybe this new trainer really is sharpening him up a little bit more, and now he could, you know what I'm saying? Now he could do his thing. I think there's a lot of possibilities if he fights Rolly, and I think he could have a good, like, it could actually do good numbers if he fights Rolly. I had Loma by split, but now that the mole is on the run again, I got Loma by stop. Oh man, we don't know, man. We don't know if he's the mole. Rolly did surprisingly good. He was probably up 3-2. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was tagging him in spurts too. It was like he was very accurate. There wasn't wildness, there wasn't craziness. It was just bat, 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 bat. You know how he be screaming, but he was just tagging him And I'm watching the fight. I'm like, damn, he really tagging him. And I expected him to get tagged a little bit because, Tank gets tagged. Tank don't mind getting tagged while he's preparing his knockout. But the way he was getting tagged was so much like, pop, pop, pop. Like it was just like boom, boom, right on target. I thought that was it surprised me. And to me, he did better than Ryan did. And he looked more comfortable in there than Ryan did. So I think him beating Ryan would actually be really, really good. Let's see. Man, give me Ryan versus Prograis. Prograis wins that fight. If Ryan goes against Regis Prograis, I think Regis Prograis would win. And Ryan, I think he's moving up to 140, right? So that is a possibility. YouTube Boxing 600 says, Chris Cena, there's also recent footage of Rolly getting countered the exact same way. Tank countered him and sparring. The left hook, then pivot out of the way. Okay, nice. Oops, sorry, Chris, didn't mean to at you. Oh, okay. What about Tank versus Prograis? If Tank went back up, I think Tank could beat Prograis. Prograis is actually really good. Regis Prograis is really good. He lost to Josh Taylor, but like that's Josh Taylor. You know what I mean? Like that's always gonna be difficult. Josh Taylor is actually the beast, even though Josh had a lot of problems with Catterall and he's not giving him the rematch, but he's fighting Teofimo Lopez, so that's fine. He can fight Teofimo Lopez. That makes a little bit of sense for him, but. Regis Prograis is actually a good fighter. I just still think that Tank still has too much power and with a good amount of ring IQ that he'll be able to take Regis Prograis out of there. So I think Tank wins if he was to fight Regis Prograis, especially after his performance with Ryan Garcia. Will Ryan Speed follow him as he goes up in weight in your mind? Yeah. He went up in weight already. He fought at 140 and he fought Javier Fortuna, and that's when he did the Phantom left hook. The left hook that was so fast you didn't catch it in the camera's frames. Like it went in between frames, so you couldn't even catch it if you watched it on video, unless you slowed it down. So it's one of those things where he showed that he has his speed. The only thing he needs is his confidence, man. His confidence. That's the number one thing that Ryan Garcia needs is his confidence. If he could get that, then he'll be golden. I know that's why a Rolly fight makes a lot of sense, because you have to fight somebody that's known, but at the same time, you have to be very careful because your next steps are critical. Because you don't want 2 back-to-back losses. That's really damaging. So what you want to do is you want to get somebody that you can get a good name. You could be like, look, that guy did really good against Tank, and I'm about to fight him, and he beat me up in that sparring footage. So I'm gonna show you what happens when we get to the pros, and then he goes ahead and beats him in the pros. I think that that's a thing that he could do, and I think that's a winnable fight for him, because that's an important thing too. I think that's actually a winnable fight for him. Tank versus Regis would be a good fight. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Ryan also needs to work on his footwork. I don't know why he's so flat-footed and immobile. Yeah, because Ryan depends so much on his speed. And the thing that's crazy is he's so tall and he has such a good reach for his division that speed is not actually the best thing for him to have. Speed is cool to have, but it's not the greatest thing that he could have for himself. The best thing he could have is a good jab, but the good jab he could work on. He could work on having that good jab, but I don't know if he's relied on his speed so much for his entire amateur career. And like in the amateur, speed is actually pretty decent to have, but in the pros, when you're at the elite level, it's tough. It's tough to just go off of just having speed. Because there's so many people that are so smart. There's so much time. You could take your time. For example, Tank is able to take his time. If there's only 3 rounds, he can't take his time. He got to go. So there's a different dynamic when you're in the pros, and I think that he relied on his speed so much throughout his amateur career, and then he relied on his speed so much in the pros that he probably thought that his speed is kind of all he needs. And of course, he was doing smart things in between that, but he wasn't going that extra mile, getting a good jab, getting good footwork to move around the ring, becoming more mobile, getting his head off the center line, doing little things like that. Footwork and stuff like that. He wasn't doing those essential things that you need when you get to that elite level. Those are the things that Tank was doing. Although he was decent at creating distance, he threw it out the window with Tank. So it's like he also needs to calm down when he's fighting. He needs to be able to get relaxed when he's fighting. I think Ryan should go back to Reynoso or Derek James. Isn't he talking to Derek James right now or something like that? The balance is key. I think he's talking to Derek James or something like that. I think he's talking to Derek James right now, but I could be wrong. Ryan got the new coach as well. Interesting news. Who's the new coach? Is it Derek James? Is it Derek James, the new coach for Ryan Garcia? Low-key, I would love to see Ryan versus Keyshawn. I think Keyshawn would win that fight. Keyshawn, like I said, man, becoming an Olympic medalist as a USA fighter is one of the hardest things you can do. It's so difficult because it's an international level. It is the pinnacle of amateur boxing. So it's not just an international tournament. It is the international tournament. The most prolific international tournament where the best of the best of the best of the best around the world come to face you in the Olympics. And the thing about that is that a lot of these guys are adults because they stay in the amateurs. People like Lomachenko stayed in the amateurs for so long. Cuban fighters, they stay in the amateurs for so long. For so long. So it's one of those things where it's like it is incredibly difficult to make it that far. Incredibly difficult to make it that far. How would you rate Ryan's chin? I don't think he has the best chin, but I don't think he has a weak chin either. And that's been proven by the fact that every time he gets dropped, he gets up. It's a difference if he's getting dropped and getting slapped every time. But every time he gets dropped, he gets up fairly quickly. It's almost like he's only gets flash knocked down, not anything crazy, just quick flash knockdown. So I think he's all right. He's all right. He don't got the greatest chin because getting knocked down, period, is shows some weakness there. And it happened to him twice already. But he definitely, he took a flush punch by Tank Davis. And Tank Davis knocks people out. He has a high knockout percentage. He knocks almost everyone out that he fights. And he got right up. He looked way better than when Luke Campbell dropped him. So I think he has a decent chin. It's not the greatest, but it ain't bad. That man is a 2-star mo. Why you said that again, AP? Ryan loses to people who can time him. Yeah, he loses to people, because, timing beats speed. And he loses to people that have good boxing IQ, where if you just do this one thing, they're going to find a way around it, and then you have to adjust. And if you don't have anything more than that one thing, then it's going to be a real tough, it's going to be a long night for you. And that's what Ryan realized when he got dropped to the body. He realized it's going to be a long night, so he just decided, hey, listen, I might as well just pack it up right now because it's going to be a long night for me. Fanatico, I believe he has made contact with Derek, but also reached out to Reynoso, so I guess we'll see. Oh, interesting. Did you guys see the Canelo's response to Ryan Garcia getting knocked down to the body? Did you guys see what he said? Did anybody see what Ryan Garcia said? Not Ryan Garcia, Canelo Alvarez said. Damn, I didn't even know it sent again. What up, Fanatico? What's going on, brother? What's up, AP? He should have got up. Yeah, he said, we're fighters, we get back up. That's interesting. So if he's saying that, that's going to make it an uncomfortable thing for Ryan to go back to Reynoso. It's going to be weird. It's going to be awkward. because they've had a falling out to some degree where Ryan was saying things publicly against Canelo, and then Canelo's reciprocated that. So, and then now we got this, Canelo saying, hey, he should have gotten up. AP, whatever, I think he should have got up, bro. No cap. I think he was just mentally beat. I mean, yeah, you should get up in the sense of like keep on being strong and being a fighter and going out on your shield and all that stuff. But I do think that to him, he felt that it was checkmate and he felt that enough was enough. He didn't want to take punishment. He's not a traditional Mexican fighter in the sense like he's not like a Leo Santa Cruz or a Marco Antonio Barrera or a Canelo Alvarez where they're like Mexican bred and they grew up through it. He's a American fighter of Mexican descent. He's an American fighter of Mexican descent. So he has a different type of mentality. Plus, the thing with Ryan is he also has a career outside of boxing. He has a lucrative career outside of boxing. So in his mind, it's like, do I have to put myself through this right now? Or can I concede right now? Or should I concede right now? And then maybe run it back when I'm a little bit better at this. And that could have been something that went through his mind. And he could have decided right then and there, yeah, you know what? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I think it hurts so much. If I get up, he's probably going to finish me off. And it's probably going to be worse. So let me just go out right now. That's what I think he did. A liver blow is a liver blow, though. Yeah, exactly. It's painful. It's painful. One moment seemed he's getting up, but changed his mind. Yeah. I mean, from the moment I saw him like very aware of everything, I'm like, okay, he could get up. Like as I'm watching it, I'm hearing the ref count, and I'm expecting him to get up, but he just didn't. He just literally looked at the ref and did the whole "no, I'm not gonna get up" thing, and like that was it. So I think he made a conscious decision not to get up. Do I think it hurt him? Yes, I think it definitely 100% hurt him. But I do think he made a conscious decision not to get up anymore. Then again, remember he ain't get hit by just anybody to the liver. He got hit by the most cracking lightweight in the biz, Gervonta Tank Davis. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's not easy. It's 100% not an easy thing to pull off. It's not an easy thing to do. To get hit in the liver like that, especially when you were already injured to the liver, it's just not an easy thing. So, like hats off to him for even trying, for the fight, for making the fight happen, because that's super important and that's helped boxing. He definitely helped boxing with that. But when he went out. He decided he went out on his own terms. He was not going to get up anymore. He said, "That's it. I'm done. I'm out." So I respect it. I've been punched to the body. It's hell. Yeah. Most boxers, if not all boxers, say they rather get knocked out. It don't hurt at all. When you get knocked out, it just doesn't hurt. You don't even really remember it. Like it's like one moment you're standing, and the next moment it's like you teleport to people waking you up. It literally just feels like you blink and now people are waking you up, and there was like this, or not you blink, it goes dark, and then it's like feels like people are like underwater, and then they come back into like it sounds like normal, the audio is normal, and then you're just like, how did I get here? And it feels faster than when you rewatch it. It feels faster in your mind from the knockout to the moment that you wake up. Plus, in the epilogue video, I believe he confessed at the end that he had a rib injury. Yeah, exactly. That's where we did a live stream maybe a few episodes back. And you just like, he admitted when Goosen said, "Hey, was it the rib that was hurting you, Ryan?" And Ryan said, yeah, that's why I didn't want to continue. That revealed that Ryan had the ability to continue, that there was a rib injury, and that he did not want to continue by his own volition. He could have gotten up, but he just decided no. In that moment, he said, "No, I'm not going to get up." So, yeah. Like you get hit by electricity. Yeah, man. It's crazy. Get that little buzz and everything, and it's just, you're out. That is when the old heads talking about the body being willing as well. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, people, when it comes to the bodies, man, people would rather get hit to the head than hit to the body. I'm telling you, people would rather get hit to the head than hit to the body. Ryan definitely needs to have more confidence in himself. It's Mega, what's going on, brother? If he doesn't, then he's just gonna hold himself back against other top level fighters. Confidence is key. 100%. 100%. Confidence is important. Confidence is important, and Ryan lacked confidence, in my opinion, when he was in there with Gervonta Tank Davis, and that was one of the reasons why he wasn't doing well, because he was so nervous. But I don't know if he was nervous because he didn't think he was up to the challenge, or if he was so nervous because of the moment. Some people, the moment is too big. The lights are too bright. You get nervous, and it's difficult. Ryan would have been dropped again. Yeah, of course. If he would have got up with the killer instinct that Tank has, he would have been gone. He would have been gone. All right, Chris Sada, Fanatico. I've been a follower of yours for a while now, and I love your content. I want to start my own boxing / basketball podcast. Any ideas? Just start. My number one thing I always tell people, when you want to start like YouTube, or if you want to start on social media in any way, shape, or form, specifically YouTube, because that's where I've done the best. Because people think that this is my only channel, but I also have a fitness channel on YouTube that has over 270,000 subscribers. So when it comes to doing this thing on YouTube and doing it well, the best way to get good at it is to just start. I think a lot of people don't, they think that they need perfection, right? They think they need a ring light. They think they need a microphone. They think they need like computers everywhere that's telling them everything. They think they need like everything perfect. They need to get a chair. They need to get a desk. They need to find a location and get lights and get the backgrounds and everything like that. You don't need that. You don't need that. My first videos ever, which I started on my other channel, because that's my first YouTube channel, was off of my cell phone. And I was doing like 400 to 500 views off of my cell phone, just talking about fitness. And then as I progressed and I got to 5,000 subscribers, I bought a little camera, didn't have anything crazy, had a little microphone connected to it. And then I just kept going. But I noticed, if I looked at all of my videos, I noticed my first videos, I was very I didn't seem like I was confident talking on camera. I seemed almost like too relaxed and too kind of disengaged, even though in my head I thought I was engaged or whatever. But I remember I would rewatch while I'm editing. I'm like, damn, let me add a little bit more energy here. Damn, let me add a little bit more cadence here. And then I would get comments where people are like, oh my God, talk faster, like you're talking so slow. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I should speed up the way I talk. And over the years, because it's been since 2016 January, that's when I started my YouTube journey. Over the years, that's when I crafted my style on camera, and I became super comfortable with the camera. I'm so comfortable with the camera that the camera, to me, it's almost like it's a trick that happens in my brain. I think of the camera as a person, as like one person. So you get a genuine conversation from me because I'm actually focusing on the camera as like I'm personifying the camera as a person, and I almost forget. Like I don't even see the camera. I see it now because I'm talking about it, but the camera literally disappears when I'm doing my videos, and it's simply because I get inside my head and I start talking to like one person, and then that way it feels like I'm translating that to everyone. But at the same time, the because I started, even though I didn't have all this equipment, I was able to craft that style. I was able to see and get better, see and get better, see and get better. Also with editing and everything, same thing, self-taught. And it was just like, oh, I want to learn how to do that thing. And then I would just go online, figure that out, and that's how I do it. That's how I did it. So just a few nuggets for anybody if you ever wanted to start YouTube or whatever. That's something that, maybe you could take that into account. I know a lot of people are very hesitant. I've had family members ask me questions about starting YouTube and stuff like that. And I always tell them the number one thing that you should do if you want to learn how to do YouTube is literally start doing YouTube. Just start doing it. Just do it. and then you'll start getting more confident on camera. You'll start look at any of your favorite YouTubers. If you can find their first ever video, they look nervous or weird or uncomfortable because it's an unnatural thing. But the more you do it over and over and over and over again, you just become very, very natural, and it's almost like it's almost like you're walking in a park. Like it's just that normal to your brain, and that's where you want to get to. So then you come off as like easy to watch, easy to listen to, charismatic, and all that stuff. So hopefully that helps. Crusader, hopefully I helped you. He was nervous. You can see it. Yeah, Ryan was definitely 100% nervous. I could tell from the way he was acting during the ring entrance and while he was waiting and while he was fighting him. I could tell he was feeling a little bit nervous as well. So Fanatico be getting them wives in shape on the low. Nah. I'm married, brother. I'm married. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it. Of course, man. Of course. Yo, where your fitness channel at? Now, I don't like to cross promote at all because that actually doesn't help the algorithm. If I move a lot of people from one channel to another, if you're not actually interested in that channel, so I don't actually promote it. But if people have found it, so if you find it on your own, then you'll know, hey, look, this is, oh my God, this is Boxing Fanatico. I actually have my plaque from that other channel hanging up right there. If I ever hit 100,000 subscribers on Boxing Fanatico, I'll put it back there somewhere where you guys can see it. Fanatico was the original jump rope influencer. See, this guy knows. This guy knows. He's seen my channel. He's seen my channel before. I could tell just by that comment right there. I know he's seen my channel. Yeah, now you got that confidence that you can take that confidence, that experience builds for real. Yep, exactly. That you can't fake. Exactly. Because you'll see it. When somebody's new, you'll see it. I've seen a lot of people that are new. They're new to YouTube, and they'll ask me like questions because I used to be in this YouTube group on Facebook where we're all helping each other, and I was one of like just 3 people that had over 100,000 subscribers at the time in that group. And people would be like, yo, what's the problem? Why am I not growing? Look at this video. Like, what's wrong with this video? What's so different between this video and like your video? And I would watch it, and they're just like, all right, so now you have to go ahead and if you push off like the diamond, you put it on your chest and then you push off. And I'm like, it's because you don't have the camera presence yet. And then when I tell them that, they're like, no, I do. I'm mad comfortable on camera. I'm like, I get that you're comfortable on camera, but you don't have the presence yet. It doesn't pierce through the screen. Like, I don't feel it. I feel that you're timid. You're worried about something. You're worried about families and friends and all these things. You have to completely get away from that and just talk to somebody. Just literally use the camera as a person. Make that camera a person and just have a conversation. Because I guarantee you, if I like snuck around and captured you just talking to your friends, there will be so much charisma there. There'll be so much energy there. That's how you have to portray yourself. And then it's actually you. You actually get the person, the real person. Like, this is how I would talk when I'm talking to my friends and I'm trying to explain something and I'm trying to be like in a debate with my friends or whatever. This is how I talk. So you actually get the real person. So you got to get to that point where you think of the camera as a real person and you just go. But until you break through that barrier, you're always going to be a timid, and it's gonna come out, it's gonna come through the screen, and somebody's gonna see it. And then it's super hard because now you're playing the craziest uphill battle. If you just start a new channel and you're timid, and someone sees that, and then you're talking about something that somebody else is talking about already with a lot of charisma and a lot of subscribers, which creates social proof for people, they're just going to decide to go to them because they're not going to trust that you'll even be back, that you would, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to keep your consistency because they'll be like, yo, you don't have all of these things that make me feel confident that you would even be back, let alone entertaining at this point. So you can't worry about the numbers in the beginning. You just have to keep doing it until your craft is good, and then the numbers will come. That's what happened. That's what happened with me. My numbers weren't right there right away, but I just kept doing it, and then it kept growing, kept growing, kept growing. I got better at it, and next thing you know, that's it. Channel started to grow. That boy came out to take me deeper than my feet could ever wander. That man was not ready. What y'all talking about? What y'all talking about? I remember Markiplier's early YouTube days. Yeah, Markiplier for exactly, right? And look how charismatic Markiplier looks on camera now, right? But he had problems in the beginning, right? He was nervous in the beginning, just like everybody else. Timid as people gonna be like that, but you can't make them feel bad. I was being honest, but I was trying to toe the line of making him feel bad. I saw that he was feeling bad as I was explaining it to him, but I was trying to have him remove himself from that situation mentally so that he could see it from the outside looking in. And I could explain to him, like, look, I'm telling you, I'm watching it as a person that doesn't know who you are, and I know that everyone feels like they're the main characters of their own story, and that you feel that when rewatching it, you feel that it's perfect, it's great. But I'm telling you that as I'm watching it, it doesn't feel like somebody who's comfortable on camera. So you just got to get to that point. But when I tell people that, sometimes they're like, well, how do I get to that point? What do I need to do for my next video? I'm like, that's not nothing you need to do for your next video. It's just keep doing it until it just feels comfortable. Keep doing it until you just don't even, there's nothing. There's no nervousness. There's no fear. There's literally nothing. You don't feel anything at all. You don't mind the world seeing you. You don't mind your family seeing you, your friends. When you get to that point, you could do whatever you could come off super genuine on camera. Losers try their best. Winners go home and start a podcast. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Keep pushing until you make it. Tank came out with Sosa playing Love Sosa. Sosa, is that like the rapper that he came out with a rapper, right? I didn't know who he was. Yeah, bro, it's just trial and error. 100%, 100%. He was talking about Ryan's ring walk coming out to worship music. Who was talking about that? That's Chief Keef. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, I know he's a rapper, but I just didn't know. I just didn't know exactly who he was. He's from Chicago. Yeah, no, I know. I've heard of Chief Keef. I just didn't know where he was, where he was from. Or like if that was him. I've heard of him, but I didn't really know who he was exactly. All right, so just as we're closing out, my closing argument for this, because I want to kind of close the book on this, is cool guy. I think he's just a famous sparring partner in the internals, right? Behind the scenes. I think he's a famous sparring partner. I think he spars people like Ryan. He spars people like Devin Haney. Probably spars people like Lomachenko and all these other guys too, right? He's little. I think he's used for specific purposes of like fighting somebody who's small, to get used to the calibrating yourself to hitting a smaller fighter. I think he's decent, right? He has the WBC Asia belt, the AIBA Asian champion. He was an AIBA bronze, bronze, two-time Olympian. So he went to the Olympics twice. He's still somewhat young. He hasn't lost in his professional career. So I think he's just a decent sparring partner for a lot of different fighters. And I do not think he's a mole. I think that there was just a miscommunication between Ryan Garcia and him that led to circumstantial evidence for a lot of people to say, oh, he's the mole. And now every time somebody sees him with like Devin Haney, for example, they're like, oh my gosh, he's in there. He's about to, expose Devin Haney. But I think he's just a regular, cool guy that just things got lost in translation, language barrier type stuff. That's what I think happened with him. So now let's go ahead and switch over to here. And let's pull up the chat right quick. Not a mole, but good nickname to take on. Yeah, just take it. You just wear it as a badge of honor, bro. Like people think you the mole, so you the mole. Just be like, yo, I'm the all right, man. I hurt his rib, and I told Tank's camp what exactly happened. And Devin Haney needed to watch his back Cause you know what I'm saying, I'm a rat him out too. And if they want to get in the ring, we could get in the ring, sign a contract, like you know what I mean. Just fully embrace the mole thing, and then always take pictures. Every time he spars somebody, take a picture with them. Like, yeah, me and him, we sparring. You know what I mean? Like, we sparring. Do that, and then like if there's a big fight coming or whatever, then everybody's like, oh no, look where he's at now. He's about to, you know what I'm saying? So just lean into it, because this might be your big break. You know what I'm saying? This might be your big like your catapult to people wanting to see, well, what's this guy all about? Is he even good? Or like, let's watch his fight to see if he could win or whatever. Like, people are weird. Like, there's weird things that make people interested in something. So this looks like it gained some traction. So if I was him, me personally, I don't think he's a mole. But if I was him, I would just lean into the premise of, I would lean into the ambiguity of people not knowing. Don't necessarily say you're the mole, but just keep taking pictures with random fighters all the time while after you spar them or during the training camps, and just cause people to speculate. I think that would create a lot of buzz behind them. That's just my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, if he should do that or not. Shout out the mole though, bro. He's decent, and he's fighting 2 fighters, so he's definitely gonna be more than decent. Yeah. I mean, he's out here fighting, sparring with Devin Haney, right? Devin Haney has a fight with Lomachenko, so it makes sense for Devin Haney to fight him because Lomachenko's a little bit smaller. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he's a good niche sparring partner to get for a specific situation. If you want to calibrate yourself to fighting somebody that's smaller than you, he might be a good pick, right? He's a good pick. And that's why he was a good pick for Ryan Garcia. He's a good pick for Ryan Garcia because Tank is small. And now he's a good pick for Devin Haney because Lomachenko is small. Maybe he can be a great journeyman in the ring. Possibly. I mean, we got to see. We got to see him fight. There's people that lose. You know, people lose in the amateurs and stuff. And just because you lost to Shakur Stevenson don't mean anything like that you're not good. We just got to see. We just got to see. Right now, he's ranked where he's ranked because of the people he's fought. But if he elevates himself by elevating his level of competition, he could elevate in the rankings too. So let's see. And now there might be some interest behind him. There might be a little bit of interest because there's some mystery behind him. But there's intrigue. There's mystery and intrigue. Is this guy the mole? Is he not a mole? Blah, blah, blah. That mystery and intrigue could lend to people caring about him fighting and create some sort of a name. Rolly Romero only got famous because he beat up Ryan Garcia in a sparring video. Had that not happened, nobody would really care to know about Rolly Romero. That video is what made Rolly Romero a little bit famous. And then that he carried that fame, he leaned into it, right? He was doing his whole Rolly Romero antics or whatever. He leaned into that, and boom, he became like him and versus Tank. Those pay-per-view numbers were higher than Tank versus Hector Garcia. I think it was Hector Garcia that he fought in January. Those numbers were higher than a Hector Garcia fight, and the Hector Garcia fight was a more legitimate, difficult fight for Tank than the Rolly fight. If you looked at the resumes and you know how good they were. So I'm telling you, man, whenever there's a little spark, whenever opportunity knocks, just lean into it. Lean into it. If you're a boxer, you want to be famous and you're doing your thing, and this is your little break to get into the public zeitgeist, into the public perception, or into the public eye or whatever, use it. Lean into it. That's my advice to that gentleman. Lean into it. They got to put him on the undercard for one of these big fights. That might be too much, though. He might have to start a little slow. I'm not sure how many rounds he's doing right now. He might be still doing 4 or 6 rounds. All right, Fanatico, I'm going to dip out. I know your stream ended soon. I'm going to tap in tomorrow if you go live. I'll tap in on Saturday, too, if you go live to talk about the fight. Thank you, AP, whatever. I see you coming in on all these live streams. I appreciate it so much. You, too, got Rogish, Hashim always in here early, and Quine also. So shout outs to you guys. Thank you so much. Have a good one. We're ending the stream, of course, right now, 8 o'clock, but every weekday, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Don't miss it. We'll be live again tomorrow talking about the next topic. Have a good night, Fanatico. From Roguish, good show. I agree. He is innocent, but lean in. There you go. There you go. All right, guys. Hit the like on your way out. Hit the subscribe button on your way out. And we'll see you guys in the next one. This one was a fun little kind of like talk on, we kind of diverged a little bit on how to, grow a YouTube channel, how to get better on YouTube. But I think we had a pretty good kind of myth busting, a good myth busting video where we talked about this mole that is just going bananas right now. I think it was cool to talk about that, kind of nip it in the butt a little bit on our end. I mean, it's still fun. I know it's fun. People could think, he's a mole or whatever. It's a fun thing to do. But I think personally, with all of the information we got, he's just a really good sparring partner there was language barrier there. And that's the reason why everybody thought that he was the mole when he probably isn't. All right, guys. Until the next one, peace out. Have a good one, guys.